Hey, how you doing? This is the Shop by Lefties. My name is Dwayne Phelps, also known as Lefties AZ. Right here, with Trendy with Kim Allison, and we're rocking it. We're going in, and we're getting ready to unpack and really dive into anything and everything it takes to strive to be the best version of yourself in any industry.
Welcome to another episode of Trendy with Kim Allison. I have a familiar face with me today. His name is Dwayne Phelps. He's a barber, entrepreneur, father, and community advocate. And more importantly, he loves God, as do I. Dwayne is the owner of the Shop by Lefties, and he's here to catch us up on everything that's been going on over the years. And stay to the end, you guys, because I'm finally asking the barber question that's been bugging me over the years. It's been bugging me for a while now. So, Dwayne, are you ready? Welcome to the show.
Absolutely. Oh man, well that's an amazing introduction. I'm humbled and honored. And when I think of the word God, I think of the word good. So when you say the word God, I think of good. If you could be the best version of yourself and just be good, then that's God right there. But yes, that's an amazing introduction, and I'm happily honored to be here for sure.
Oh, I'm happy and honored to have you here with me today. But before we get into all of the amazing things you're doing right now, because I did
Mm,
do a deep dive on your Instagram and
mm.
I am beyond overwhelmed. It was amazing. Can we just acknowledge first that we haven't seen each other in probably multiple decades, close to 30 years, I'm thinking. And how is that? Because you're 25 and I'm 35. Like, is that even
I,
possible? You know what I
I
mean?
don't even, vampires. We're vampires.
Yes, we are. But what do you remember, Dwayne, about those early years? Because for me, I saw a picture of Anthony Gathers on your Instagram, and oh my
Yeah.
God, that's my boy. I haven't seen him in so long, and I believe, we went to the same beauty school. And as I was
Mm,
graduating, he was going in. And so,
mm,
yeah, and I remember back then I had a hairdresser girlfriend who I believe you two were dating. I think that's how I met you, through her.
okay.
Long time ago. Like I said,
Okay.
30 years ago. But
30
what do you,
years. Yeah, it's been
yeah,
30 years.
what do you remember about those days?
Yeah, you bring up AGs and you bring up the cosmetology school because when I met Anthony Gathers in 1995, um, he went to a cosmetology school. I had went to him, a friend of mine named Jimmy Hunter, who now owns a barbershop. We went to him. He said, "Hey, I know a guy you should go meet if you want to be a barber." He introduces me to Anthony, and from there, Anthony takes me to the International School of Hair Design, which you went to, which Anthony went to, and then I followed through. So I actually went to that same cosmetology school because barber schools weren't around back in the 1996, 1990s era. So yeah, I had to go to cosmetology school now. So I went to the exact same cosmetology school you went to.
Oh my God, I had no idea. I mean, fun
Yep.
fact, that's amazing. Did you always know that barbering was your path? Because, as you said, there weren't very many barbering schools back then, and that was a legit cosmetology school. Because I don't remember much about barbering at all, if not at all. So, how did you know, graduating from a cosmetology school, that barbering was your path?
Well, for one, always loved people. I always loved entertaining. I've always loved talking. I love being around people. So that was always a deep passion of mine. I
Yeah.
love cooking. I wanted to have a plan. So I also thought about going to the military. So I was like at the crossroads between the military, culinary art school, and barbering. And getting into barbering was something that my father taught me how to do because my mom was not a good barber, and she used to mess my hair up. At one point in time, I had hair. I know the people may or may not believe that, but it was a long time ago.
You did.
But
You did.
yeah, exactly, and it was nice hair. But
Yeah. Yeah.
anyways, that's all gone now. But yeah, so I would cut my own hair. I kind of got practice, and I just kind of got good at cutting hair. One of my friends said, "Hey man, you should think about being a barber." So I kind of just went into what I did. From there, I went to college, had a great time, and I cut hair in college. So it kind of paid my way through school, and then here we are, 30 years later. We got the shop by lefties, and we're still rocking for almost 18 years now.
Oh my God, that's so amazing. And if somebody had told you you'd own a successful shop for nearly 2 decades, would you have believed them back then in the beginning?
You know, I don't want to say, I don't want to say, I would say it was always a vision of mine. So it was always something I wanted to do. And I always thought there's something bigger than where I was. I truly believe in connecting and dreaming further than what's right in front of you. So working for someone was a big lesson, a big way that I learned how to do for myself and how to teach others. So, and I've always learned that the best leaders are even better followers.
Oh
So
yeah.
you have to get under somebody who knows what they're doing and be willing to learn from them.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And my first question is actually a complaint. Ready for
Okay,
my
let's
complaint?
hear it. I'm
'Cause
ready. I'm ready.
how have we both been serving this industry all these years and have yet to work on a project together?
You know what I would say. For one, it's disrespectful. Okay, we should have already done something. For two, I would say the rise of the salon suites have kind of separated the community of the hair industry between barbering, just the hair industry. Period. I mean, I think barbers are hairstylists are running into these little rooms thinking they're doing their own thing, and they don't realize that the culture and the I would say like this. Are you familiar with gumbo?
Yes.
Gumbo is a seafood dish that's based out of the Creole, Louisiana time. And
Yes.
things that go into gumbo is a little bit of everything. There's seafood, there's chicken, there's sausage, there's all kinds of vegetables. So
Yeah.
this industry is like a gumbo. And one hand washes the other. Hairstylists need barbers, and barbers need hairstylists. So
100%.
we've kind of lost that. So going forward, I would love to do more work with you in the community. If it's serving kids, if it's backpack drives, or if it's just us connecting and doing whatever.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I agree with you on the salon suites because I'm in a salon suite now, but I paid my dues to get here. And I'm not sure that I love it. It's just where I am, right? Because I got tired of owning big salons like I did. I had my
Hmm.
path. I'm pretty much, I would say, gonna exit the business and re-enter in
Hmm.
a different way. But
Hmm.
so that's why I don't know. I got some pokers in the fire. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm completely done, but we'll see. But I agree. We do go into salon suites. I equate them to like when you got a garage at your house instead of a carport. Yeah, right? You go in that garage,
Absolutely.
put that little thing down, and I don't know, a neighbor. I mean, I happen to know my neighbors because I've lived in my house
Yeah.
for over 20 years, but most people tell me I don't even know the people next door. You know what I mean?
Nope.
So I agree with you. So let's go to some of your early lessons. All right.
Mm.
The first haircut when you had all your little bouncy, flowy, curly hair, like what your first haircut, what was the first haircut you ever paid for?
So that's a great question. The first haircut I paid for was probably for prom, and this was probably about 1995. Again, I cut my own hair for so long that I didn't go to barbershops. I couldn't really afford to go to a barbershop. Um, so the first haircut I probably had was I went to see Anthony. So Anthony was too booked because he was the busiest barber in the East Valley at that time. Him and a gentleman by the name of,
Fade tight, right?
well, Fay Type. Yeah, Fay Type was more South Phoenix.
Oh,
I was in Mesa, Tempe.
oh
So
yeah,
yeah,
Anthony. And what was his? But what was the name of his?
Oscar,
Oscars is the other. But what was the name of Anthony's barbershop?
AGs.
AG's. Oh my
Yes, yes,
gosh.
yes,
Does he still have
yes.
it?
So yeah, he has actually two locations. He has a original. He has well, it's the second location because the first location opened up I think '97, and that
Yep.
was off of Ray
Yep.
and Ray and Country Club or
Yep.
Arizona Avenue, and then he moved to a different location about 2000, about '99 or 2000 and that was on Arizona Avenue, and he
Yes.
still has that location. And then I would say probably '07 ish, maybe '08, he opened up, maybe '05. He opened up another location in South Phoenix on 7th Avenue in Southern, or Southern, 7th Avenue and Southern, I think. And that
Okay.
one's still thriving. So he has two thriving locations.
Okay. Sounds like I need to give Anthony a call to be a guest
Oh,
next
absolutely.
for sure.
He'd be honored. He'd be
So
honored.
so he was the first barber to cut your hair. And what was that first
Yes.
haircut back in 19 whatever hundreds, you guys? The 1900s.
1900s for 1995. Yeah, that was hilarious. It was probably some curls on the top. Pointed sideburns was my go-to, and a little taper fade. Yeah, so the pretty boy thing has always been something I rolled with. You know what I mean? If I could find that picture, I remember I went with a girl and she was not happy, but she was pretty, so I just had to deal with that the whole time. But and the picture shows it. My prom picture shows it. But yeah, I never forget that night
It's so funny because that haircut you just described sounds like what they're wearing now
for sure.
in a way, right?
No, in a way they're just letting it grow and curly and just falling all in their face, looking like Shaggy's like the look now with a barely a little bit of haircut. So it's things is changing, but I think things are going to turn back around.
Okay. All
People start
right.
getting more haircuts, getting low haircuts. Barbershops are going to start filling back up, so things are going to turn back around. I
And I
trust that.
feel that way for women as well. I think pixies are coming back for sure. What
Hmm.
when you
Hmm.
if we're starting back a little bit from the beginning. So
Hmm.
you graduated International Academy of Hair Design, which is my near and dear Carol Ann to this day. She gave me the confidence I needed to succeed. But when you were a young barber, what was the biggest mistake you made in cutting
Mm,
hair, do you
that's
think?
that's a great question. I would say my confidence. I think when I was in cosmetology school, there was only one gentleman, really good guy. He passed away years ago, but he was a great guy. Anyway, I was the only barber in there other than him, and nobody knew how to cut hair. So I was really good at cutting $5, $10 haircuts at the school. But then when I went to the barber shop, these guys had all been cutting hair for 10 plus years. So I was equally as arrogant and cocky as they were, like, oh, I'm just as good as y'all. And I soon realized that I'm nowhere near as good as y'all. And it's funny, the gentleman, my name is Billy. His name is, we call him BG. I can't think of his last name. Gardner, maybe. But anyway, great guy. Every time I see Billy to this day, that was 30 years ago, I cut his hair. He's like, oh, man, you remember you messed me up? I'm like, why do you keep bringing that up? But yes, I cut his hair. I was trying to move too fast, and I just thought I knew it all, and I messed his hair up. But even to this day, he teases me about that.
Oh my gosh, and don't we all, right? If we can go back, it looked terrible. When I go back and look at those early pictures, I'm like, "Woo, boy, did I fail my way to the top." Good gracious.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When did you realize in the beginning? Because a lot of times we lose that confidence, especially to your point. You just said you jacked his hair up, right? And he reminds you of that today. And most people would run away with their tail between their legs. So when did you
Mhm.
know, when was the moment you realized that this is a career? This is for real, for real.
Mm. It's a really good question. I worked like I said, I got out of school in 1997. I worked right away at AG's, and at that point in time, you had to have a live person to pass your cosmetology test. Now, I didn't know a lot of women that had straight hair, so it was really hard for me to find someone to take down there to State Board of Cosmetology to actually go through all the steps to do their hair. Um, so after a year of me working, Anthony really pretty much told me I'm fired. He said, "You're fired until you get your license." And I said, "Ant, you know my dilemma. You know I'm dedicated, but he's like, hey, I can't take a risk on you. So until you get your license to cut hair, to get your license to be a barber, licensed barber or licensed cosmetologist, I can't let you work here." So my mom is a Creole woman, so she has a straighter hair. Thank for her. She took off of work one day and she said, "Okay, let's do it." Because literally, I would pay at the time. State board was $30. So you go in, you pay your $30. You have to wait like 6 weeks to get your date. So then you got to wait another 6 weeks to actually show up. And every time I got somebody for the entire year, it was a no show. So after a year of just no shows, my mom actually took off of work. I went down there. I passed the test and I went on to continue cutting hair. And the dedication and the heartache that I had for disappointing Anthony, the heartache I had for disappointing myself, the heartache I had for just the disappointment of failure. I said, you know what? I'm passionate about this. This is something I really want to do. And I knew that it was something endear for me. And it's through trials and tribulations, through uphill battles, I just kept proving to myself this is what I want to do.
Oh, and your mom in that story, I mean, integral, because you said you kept getting
Mm,
no-shows and she took a day off
yep.
work to come in and be your model. And I do remember those times where we had to have a live model. I have not been to beauty school in a long time, nor have I had
Mm,
to take the state board. Are they not
mm.
live models anymore?
Oh no, they went to mannequins. I would say maybe 15 years ago. They went to
Really?
mannequins. Yep,
Oh my
yeah. No
gosh,
live
like
model.
that's anyway. Okay. I maybe
Yeah,
maybe liability. Who knows, right?
it's been so many changes. I mean, with state board and barbering and cosmetology kind of like merged into one.
Yeah.
It's been significant changes in that on that side of things.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, let's jump into your 18 years of owning this business, honey. What
Mm, mm,
inspired you to open the shop? Let's start there.
mm. Great question. I always thought of having a diverse shop in Awatuki. I just thought that Ahwatukee was the one of the most diverse centrally located areas of Phoenix, being close to the airport, being close to ASU, and I just thought Ahwatukee was always the spot that I wanted to be in.
Mm-hmm.
So after 11 years of working at AG's,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a recession. Oh gosh, it was a recession time. All the houses were market was
You
crazy. It was
mean
like
like
08,
2006, 7, 8, somewhere in there?
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yep, 7 to 8. So it was actually I found a fantastic Sam's that went under, and my ex father-in-law was like, "You got what it takes to open a business. You've been in a fraternity. You got all kind of leadership training. You've been in ROTC. You're prepared. You just have to have the confidence for yourself." Because I was still nervous. I was still like, "Okay, I know I've proved it to myself that I can do this," but I just was, I'd never done it. So yeah, he pushed me. He said, "You got this. Find the right place, and you're gonna get it done."
Oh,
So I
I
found
love
a
that.
Fantastic Sam's, and Fantastic Sam's, the doors are locked. I guess it went out of business, and I started opening. I started that. I was there for about 3 years, and then I stumbled across the location I'm at now, which is probably triple the size. And we just moved some things around. I unloaded all the properties that I had, and I just put everything into the business. And it was a good decision.
You know what still surprises me? How many stylists tell me they've never heard of Virtue Lab products. I found Virtue back in 2017 at a hair show, and I've been hooked ever since. I use it on myself, like this beautiful flourish right here. It's their hair thinning line. There's a full system. There's a shampoo, there's a conditioner, there's a density booster, one that's drug-free, and the other one that has minoxidil in it, which is amazing, you guys. If you haven't tried these products, please do. And it's one of the lines I actually stand behind as a professional. Here's why it's different. Virtue is the only hair care line in the world that uses human-derived keratin called alpha keratin 60KU. Because it's human derived, your body recognizes it as its own and actually accepts it. We all want products that truly heal and repair hair, right? Not just make it shiny for a day. Virtue does that. It literally fills in the cracks in the damaged areas, strand by strand. So, you guys, trust me, you'll see results after one use, but after 5 washes, honey bunny, the hair will feel like a completely different head of hair. Soft, strong, and actually healthy. So if you're ready to stop masking damage and start repairing it, I know you're ready. Shop Virtue through my link today in the description. Support the show, support your hair. You'll thank me later. Bye. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Let me circle back though, because did you go to college and finish? Because you're a frat.
Yes, I'm a member of Kappa Alpha Psi.
Okay, so you went to university, and
Yes.
I know you guys, I swear, Kappas. And then did you also go to the military, or did you and finish?
So, no. So my military experience was ROTC in high school.
Oh, got you. Okay,
I
okay.
thought
I just
about
wanted to
I
make
wanted to go
sure.
to the military after I got out, but I ended up becoming a barber. When I started college about 98 and 99, 2000, I became a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. I was studying for business management. And in that early 2000 year, a little bit after I became a member of Kappa Alpha Psi, I bought a motorcycle. I bought a crotch rocket. It was red and white, so it was my fraternity colors. Very exciting, very fun times. On the downside of that, I got into a motorcycle accident one day, and I lost the use of my right arm. I was originally right-handed before I got into this accident, and I had to stop cutting hair. So about a year went by, and I started working at a group home. I started just working with people. I said, you know what? The universe isn't going to stop me. God got me up. God gave me everything it takes to still be here. So yes, I have this permanent nerve damage on my right arm where I can only use my hand limited. I can only use my arm limited, but I'm not going to let that stop me from doing what I love to do. So, but I just kind of shift gears. So I started working with kids in group homes and, just taking on that approach of being of service. About a year after the accident, one of my fraternity brothers by the name of Gary Rosser made me cut his hair with my left hand. He came to my mom's house and he said, "Man, you're gonna cut my hair today with your left hand." And I said, "Bro, I'm right-handed. I really gonna use one arm." He said, "No, I don't care. It's gonna work." So I did it, and it came out good. I had to make some changes or whatever, but it came out good. So then the next day, I went to AG, And I said, Anthony, I think I can cut hair again with my left hand. And he's like, oh no, man, you was right-handed and this and that. And I had been a barber for about 5 years, so I had a great clientele and all that stuff. So he's like, okay, you got to cut my hair. So I said, okay. I cut his hair and it came out good. He said, all right, you start back the next day. So I've been back at the shop. But no, I never
Yeah.
finished college to answer your original question.
Yeah, that's awesome because I was gonna ask you why the name the shop by Lefties, but you just answer. I love that because that's gosh, trial and error. You talk
Mm,
about perseverance,
mm,
all the words, to train yourself to do something that's not natural. Most
mm.
people, they don't have it in them. You know what I mean? It
No.
would just be, well, this happened to me. Now I can't be a barber anymore. So let me figure out what I can do. And then you end up down that what was me path. I think that is amazing. And I was going to ask you also, what was the hardest year for you? Would you say that was the hardest year? Or has there been a
Um,
harder year than that?
it's so interesting to answer that question because with triumph comes failure. And
Mm-hmm.
one of my favorite uh, podcaster, author, gentleman by the name of Tony Robbins, and he
Yeah.
talks about it often. He says the greatest and most successful people made the biggest failures.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and not to say that I'm great or super successful, but I've achieved some of the goals that I set out for myself. He said, well, they're just not scared to take risks.
Yeah.
So every failure has been tough. I'm recently divorced. Well, not recently, but I've been divorced now for 5 years. I had to go to prison for a DUI for 10 months. I had to go through all kind of things, and my reputation, or people assuming the worst of me, or the judgment. I had to go through all kind of things even to this day, and I just smile at it because I know who I am. I have my faith in God, and I know what kind of person I bring to the table, to the forefront, and I know what kind of energy I lead with. So, as I say, what year was harder than the other? I mean, right now it's hard, but you know what? I'm going to smile at it. I'm going to work through it. I'm going to be thankful more than I'm going to be judgmental and hold on to regret and pain. I can't do it. I failed. I've gotten back up. I've lost. I won. So I'm going to look for the wins and find the good in every situation. It's like a needle in a haystack. I'm going to look through all that mess and noise, even if it's self-inflicted, because I truly believe that everything is self-inflicted for the most part. So, okay, I made this mess. I made this mess. Oh, there goes the one good thing. I'm going to take that one good thing and I'm going to hold that in front of me and say, you know what? That's what I'm going to lead with.
Oh, I love that. And I always say there are two sides of the street. And I swear to God, some people choose the dark cloud side every single time. And like, there's also a sunny side of the street.
Mm,
You can, whatever rut you're in, you can just step off and create a new path anytime you want.
absolutely.
You are not your circumstances at all. And I
Ooh.
have this sign behind me here, and it says,
Mm,
be who God has called you to be, not what the
mm-hmm.
world wants to see. And
I
that
love
I
that.
love that quote because we are pick me's in our life.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
pick me, love me, need me, want me. I mean, how that do you know how much of you it takes to be that person? Most people don't.
Mm,
And if you
yeah.
stepped out of that's what getting out of your own way means. You
Mm-hmm.
step aside that person in your head telling you can't. Just the most negative toxic person is the person in your head.
Mm, mm, mm.
Because
Absolutely.
if you took that person and sat him next to you, you'd be like, ew, I don't want to be your friend. You're freaking
Yeah.
negative, right?
Yep.
All
Yep.
right. So I thank you for that. Thank you for sharing and being open and vulnerable because I know that's to relive, to rethink it sometimes can affect your day. So
Absolutely.
what do you think keeps a barber shop alive for 18 years? What keeps it alive? Because like you said, most people are in a suite or half and half now.
You know what? I think one of the biggest misunderstandings of being a great barber is just learning how to do a good haircut.
Hmm.
If you don't take the time to learn how to talk to people, if you don't take the time to learn how to be uplifting others, and this is all the things I tell myself. I try to send stuff out to my staff on a daily basis, but I'm really just showing it to myself. I'm reminding myself of these things, so I'm just sharing it with others. So and leading by example, not being scared to be the trailblazer, not being scared to fail, not being scared of what the judgment's going to be. To answer your question, lead with faith, operate out of trust, know that no matter what you do, somebody's gonna be mad at you or somebody's gonna be happy for you. Not don't get caught up into people who are gonna be mad at you because you'll that's always gonna be the case.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do.
I just try to have that mindset towards anything. So the family aspect of it, I love doing stuff with my staff. We do bowling. You know, I'm 4th of July. We had a big cookout weekend. You're more than welcome to join us. So you know, I just love doing stuff as a team. And I think that when you have that mentality to operate with love, operate out of selflessness, I think it's going to be natural to uplift others and to have a certain crowd. You're always going to be judged. You're always going to be, you know, strung up by the crowd. But that's just the way it is. I
Yeah.
can't worry about that. I got to worry about the people who I can look out for and add value to.
Yeah, yeah, no, I like that. And one thing you said that touched me was when you talked about judgment, being that you shouldn't
Mm,
judge other people and whatever, because I literally just brought that to the altar, to get
mm,
answers from my spiritual guides. I love God, I
mm-hmm,
love church, all the things. And
mm-hmm,
part of what I grapple with my faith, we're all on our own separate paths in faith. So you can't judge one person from another. You're all at a different part in your walk. And my question was, you know, in my faith, potentially somebody like a Charles Manson, he can instruct other people to use his influence to instruct other people to murder and slaughter people, cut
mm,
a baby out of a pregnant woman's
mm,
belly, okay, right in their blood on the wall, disparaging names about them. And potentially, if he repents, asks
mm,
God for forgiveness, he could potentially be walking through the same door I'm walking through. And I said, I've
mm-hmm,
always struggled with that. And the answer that God gave me?
mm,
He said, yes, Charles Manson can kill people, go run amok, repent, ask God for forgiveness, turn his life over to Jesus as his Lord and Savior. But my question for you, Kim, is what does Charles Manson's salvation have to do with yours?
mm,
You need to
mm,
worry about your own
mm,
salvation and your own steps and
mm,
your ish.
mm.
And that is
That
what
was
everybody needs to know.
wow. You know what, Kim? I haven't seen you in years, and I don't know you all that well. But golly, you delivered that so powerful, and it's so true. You know, like you said, Charles Manson done horrible things, and the list goes on and on of horrible people who've done horrible things intentionally, um, and yet that person can still be forgiven. So, who are we to hold on to anger? Who are we to judge? Who are we to even I love stoicism. I love old wisdom. I love Bruce Lee. And one of the things Bruce Lee would always talk about was there's no justifiable anger. Every bit of anger, we have to find a way to let go because biblically, right? So the story
Yeah.
of Jesus, if you're religious or not,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If the book is even real or not, who knows?
Yeah.
But we know the stories of the characters of the energy behind what happened is real. So think about Jesus. They didn't love him. They hated him. The
Yes.
majority of people hated him. They strung him up at 33 years old. His best friend deceived him because he just had a good heart.
Yep.
Not that he was this perfect person. Hey, he teaches faith. Hey, you can do it. Believe in yourself.
Yep.
Get up. Try it. If the Red Sea was split or not, we don't know if that's what Moses did, but we know they had enough faith that it seemed like it split to get through it. So it's just operating out of trust and faith and letting go of fear because fear is gonna, no matter what path you walk, there's downfall, there's failure. You can't worry about that. You have to work. You have to be so focused on what you're trying to achieve that the failure is not as powerful because they're both right there.
Yeah.
Faith and fear are the same thing.
Yeah.
They're the exact same thing. You don't know which either one is going to happen, but I know one thing: whichever one you feed is going to be the one that grows.
Well, 100%, because what you think about is what you are.
Absolutely,
You're going to gravitate what you think about. That's and what you allow in. You're right, because if something goes in, filters through and comes out, well, that's a no-brainer, right? What you
absolutely,
ingest
absolutely.
is that's what it is. And you talked about Jesus. I'm like, he was hanging out with the losers, with the prostitutes, with the people who actually need a savior. So if you turn your back, the self-righteous, there's no room for you in the world. So
Mm,
all of these self-righteous Christians, it's like if you
mm,
don't start with love, get Christian all the way out of your brain.
Mm.
Because you've missed the plot.
You
Yeah,
missed the whole
so
plot.
so speaking of evil, the devil incarnate, let's talk about social media for a second.
Mm. Mm.
What do you think? Do you think it's a blessing or a curse?
I think it's just like money, right? Money could be used for amazing things and money can be used for horrible things. I think that our egos and our fear is so powerful
Mhm.
right now. I found actually River and I had this conversation, and
Yes.
she's such an amazing woman. She's so intelligent. She's so poised. I mean,
Tuned
you're
in,
not going to
tuned
meet a
in. Yes.
oh man, she's a special woman.
Yes.
But we had a conversation about the two biggest emotions that control the feminine and the masculine, which the man is
Mm.
the masculine, the woman is the feminine. But
Mhm.
the two biggest emotions are fear in a woman. That's her fuel. She's fueled by fear. The masculine biggest emotion is lust. We're fueled by what we see and we want to conquer. So a woman is to see me move cars, remove technology, move all out the way. She's supposed to see me in my big 6'4" stature and say, he's going to keep me safe. That's who I want to connect to.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to see my woman and see her and be like, ooh,
Yeah.
I want to keep her safe.
I want to
And,
protect.
and, and
Mhm.
I want to protect her. And that's the yin and the yang of the lust and the fear. And when it's done functionally, it's a beautiful thing. It's survival. In a way, you should feel like I need this woman to survive,
Yeah.
to have a functional relationship, and she should feel like I need this man to survive because ain't no other man like him, regardless of his failures. And I should feel the same way about you.
Yeah.
Now the energies behind that are going to be fueled by lust and fear.
Yeah.
What social media has done, along with the society, because I think that it goes back before social media. Social media is just icing on the cake. It goes back to the TVs, the programming, what they put in front of us, the music. If you want to talk about the '60s or the '70s, when you start promoting all these horrible mindsets in our, especially in the Black community. But I think that social media only pours into one part, and for women, it pours into a lot of it is fear, and now it's starting to become lust because women are looking for this handsome, perfect guy, and men are looking at too much women, and then we're not able to develop the discipline and the control to just be focused on our woman. So it's just a horrible thing. It's given a false sense of reality, where people think that they're because they have followers or likes, they're successful now. There's this dopamine hit that it's almost like eating cake all the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
cake, pizza, wings, it's delicious, but it's not good for you all the time. It's good for you in moments. It's not good for you, but it's okay in moments. So I think that social media, when not done well, when the wrong person's watching it, it can lead you down a dark path of especially based on what you're following. It can lead you down a dark path of egotistical entitlement, lust, fear.
And I know that in our industry, where I think barbering, hairdressing, all of it, circling back to hair, is what's changed is they need social media to grow their business. Like I'm not sure today in 2026 that there's a world where you could grow by word of mouth. You can grow by word of mouth. I'm not going to lie. I'm not saying that.
Hmm.
That's your
For
bread and
sure.
butter, word of
Absolutely.
mouth. But when you are only word of mouth standing next to someone who's word of mouth and social media, they have a social media presence, I think you're going to lose today. And
You're gonna
so
lose
it's
for
really
sure.
hard because social media creates all of these trends and ways that you're supposed to post in order to get people to engage. So
Hmm.
you kind of you lose your way sometimes, I think, because if
Mm.
whatever video you may post that goes viral, you have to keep doing more of that to grow a
Mm.
following, but that
Hmm.
one thing might not even be who you are. I don't know.
Mm-mm.
So for me, social media, it's a blessing and a curse is is
Yeah.
is how I would answer that. I think it just depends on how healthy you are as a human being. To your point, those of us that
Mm.
digest unhealthy content, I am working on my murder show obsession. I truly am, but I'm not gonna lie. I'd be sitting up here lying if I said I wasn't all up in it. I've run out of episodes to watch. I've run out of platforms. They're starting to repeat themselves. Anyway, I digress. Let me circle the wagon back. So in today's society, as we wrap up how the industry has changed and how social media has played a part. What do you think new barbers are getting wrong?
Thank you for that. And you got to stop watching those shows. You got to like, you got to
I'm
stop
not
watching
saying,
like
I'm
like
not saying, I know, believe me, you are preaching
yeah,
to the choir, and my husband
yeah.
has just, he's like, I can't even go out of town now without you being afraid and locking doors and covering windows. I'm like, listen, you're right.
Yeah. So I think what new barbers need to do is get under a good staff, get in a good area, get in a good side of town, get in a good environment with a good mentor.
Yeah.
Don't be so quick to run off and do your own thing. Don't be so quick to leave and I just do this and I got to do my
Yeah.
control your ego. Like I said earlier, every great leader was a better follower, and
Yep.
there's nothing wrong with being a copycat. You just got to copy the right cat.
Yeah.
So be humble. I would say be the biggest thing, and keep studying.
Yeah.
If you don't develop the leadership skills by going through trials and tribulations of your own, then being an owner may not be for you, and it's okay.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can do great. You can do great in a barbershop by not being an owner. You could waste a lot of money by trying to be an owner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could run into a salon suite, you can build your clientele up and sit in a salon suite by yourself. That's fine too. But then you're limited your success. I'm a huge NBA fan. I saw watch LeBron James' entire career.
Yeah.
LeBron James is a successful, thriving
Yeah.
athlete who had a great name for himself. His plateau, his platform, his everything about him went to a higher level when he joined the Los Angeles Lakers. Why? Because the Los Angeles Lakers is a bigger entity than he is. So even though he was colossal prior to that, he was the biggest thing ever seen in Miami, the biggest thing ever been in Cleveland. He's not the biggest thing in LA because he's one of many greats
Yeah.
in Los Angeles. But that also took his name, took his notoriety, everything he was doing to a higher level, almost like Beyonce did or Jay Z did with Beyonce.
Yeah.
Jay Z knew his career was coming to an end. Jay Z knew things were dwindling down, but there's nothing
Yeah.
better than as an amazing man to have an amazing woman on your side. So he
Yeah.
married. So he married and got with the biggest star, and
Yeah.
it pushed his career another 10+ years.
Yeah.
Not
And you,
saying that's why he did it, but it was
no, no,
coincidence.
I know what you're saying. And you definitely always want to play in the sandbox with people who are greater than you, more elevated than you, possibly, because you never want to be the biggest fish in the smallest pond. That,
Hmm.
that's true even, oh my God, why did I wear bangs today? This is getting on my nerves. But that's true even in real estate, like
Hmm.
you don't want
Hmm.
the biggest, fanciest house in the
Hmm.
neighborhood. You
Hmm.
want the smallest house in the nicest neighborhood versus the
Mm.
biggest house in an average neighborhood. I mean,
I
that
like that.
that that is definitely true. So, Dwayne, I can see that you're a leader. You say that you listen to Tony Robbins, so you've
Oh.
definitely worked on your ability to lead. I think you already have it naturally, but you honed your skills by following and being mentored through podcast, books, or just people
Hmm.
that you've worked with, like Anthony Gathers. Hey, Anthony.
Hmm.
All right. So most people think this
Hmm.
conversation is about cutting hair, right? It's not. What you've done, these events like Sharp Futures, that's proof that a haircut can be about a lot more than appearance. So tell us about Sharp Features, because I saw that on your platform. Like, how did it start and what impact have you seen on these students?
Well, thank you. You've done some great research. Kudos to you. It's a thing where we're just doing free haircuts for kids. These people, you got to realize that without giving back to others and providing and doing, then you're just spinning your wheels. You can make all the money in the world. You can be the business barber in the world, but if you can't take your time to give some stuff away and to a simple haircut to uplift someone else, then you're not as great as you think you are. So that's kind of what that is about. And I'm hosting it here at my barbershop this year. It's actually a day after my birthday, which is July 17th. So the event is on Sunday,
Ooh.
July 18th. So I'm excited about that. So this is going to be just another year celebrating not just life, but just to provide service for each other and add value. Even if it's like I said, add value to these young kids, to the mom. They don't have to worry about a haircut that week. So it's going to be really nice.
Oh, that's nice. So you guys cut students' hair for school, back to school haircuts,
Back to school haircuts for
and you
sure.
give them
Yep.
away for free.
Yep.
Oh, look at you doing God's work. I love it so much. That's amazing. Okay, so this one I actually have a clip for. Hold on a
Okay.
second, because I was so excited about this. When I first saw Man Cave on your page. I thought it was a barbering program, honestly, at first.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, I do my homework. I like to come prepared. Then I realized it's really a fatherhood program, like
Mm-hmm.
disguised as a barbering program. So I wanted to showcase that. All right. So you
Yeah.
guys, watch this.
Man cave come down. We did a thing where I taught men how to cut their son's hair. And it's such a beautiful experience. Being a father, being a parent is such an amazing blessing. We have the opportunity to learn, heal, and grow, and to help our children be better versions of us. Fatherhood is all about integrity, love, and honor, which I choose to work my hardest to stand by. Definitely not perfect, definitely have our flaws, but I work hard to be a man of integrity, a man of love, and a man of peace. So this is the Shop by Lefties. This is what we're all about. Come holler us when you need us. Let's go, baby.
Love that so much. So this is such a unique concept. I mean, it captured me. I want to know what inspired you to teach fathers to cut their son's hair, but I also want to know what inspires a dad to want to cut his son's hair as well.
I can only use what I went through, and when I was a young man, it starts with a financial thing because we just don't have the money. But what it turns into is bonding time between your father and the son. It is bonding time between you and your child. I'm a father of four. I have
Hmm.
two beautiful daughters, Ava and Sienna, and I have two sons, Noah and Hendrix. And they're just,
Mm.
they're amazing. Being with them, doing things with them. So I know how I feel about my children, and I know that fathers a lot of times, because we're also the disciplinary, we're also the ones that teach
Hmm.
to go beyond your comfort zone. I know how ugly that looks, but
Yes.
we're doing it to prepare you for life. We're doing it so when I'm not around,
Yep.
that you can do things, you can get back up, you can fall, you can thrive no matter what the circumstances are. That's why we do these harsh things,
Yeah. Yeah.
as fathers. So when when that situation was approached to me to do it, it was an honor. I love to have it. I wish we did it every month. You know what I mean? So it's something that we can do. It's something that we can continue to give back. And that time between a father and a son, that's how you teach them how to do with their own children as time goes on, and how to do for others.
Yeah. And how often are you doing it?
You know what? I did it that one time, but Man
Okay.
Tape, they're a very busy group of people, and what their vision was is to pick different barbershops throughout the valley. And
Uh-huh.
I told them, if ever a time is where you can't find a barbershop, and I could be the backup.
Oh,
So
got you.
I'm
So
always
Man
here.
Cave
My
is
doors.
its own entity, and they find barbershops, and you were selected as a barbershop to showcase the program. Okay, I
Yes,
got
ma'am.
you. Oh, that's amazing. I love that. All righty. So as we get to the close, okay, here is my burning question that I said I was going to ask, that I've been wanting to ask from the beginning, because we've talked about business, barbering, community, but I want to know, Dwayne, how do I ask this and be respectful? Because I don't like being disrespectful, especially to my fellow beauty professionals.
It's not. It's not. It can't be disrespectful. You're good.
Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna ask.
There you go.
Why are y'all drawing visible chalk lines on people's heads and then posting the photo before brushing them
I don't
off?
do that.
Why
Yeah, I don't do
why
that.
why?
I don't
But
do
you
that.
know what I'm talking about? Every time I see
Uh,
it, I'm like,
But in one instance, to me, it's disrespectful to the craft of being a barber. Again, I've been a barber since 1996. My barber's mentor was an old guy by the name of Mo White and Deacon. I can't think of Deacon's last name, but Mo White and Deacon were older barbers. Like, they were in their 60s, still working as barbers
yep,
and doing stuff. So
yep.
I learned from old guys from Chicago and Detroit, and then Anthony. So my ways and my practices are always going to be connected to, those traditional ways
Yep.
of cutting hair.
Mhm.
But no different than the hair industry. There's girls with these long lashes. There's these lace fronts. There's all kind of stuff going on. And if women, and I don't know if guys feel this way or whatever, it's not comparing women to men, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
But you are
it's
low
just
key.
tradition. Yeah, right, exactly. So in the
Yeah.
'80s, it wasn't until Tyler Perry movies came out 20 years ago that everybody was wearing lace fronts.
True.
Now you can't go out with a woman wearing wig right now instead of
Yeah,
getting her
that's
natural
true.
hair done.
That's true.
So
That's
it's, it's,
true.
it's it's the same thing in the barber industry. People draw the line on. I like to use two razors, and I like to use one when it's kind of damp, and then I'll dry the person completely, and I use another one when it's a fresh razor when the skin's dry. and it gives that same kind of similar look, but with a sharp actual line to the beard versus drawing a line and then lining it up and then making it look like it's. But a lot of people like it. A lot of people like the color, the spray. I went bald 20 some years ago. A lot of guys are going bald and with spray hair on their head to make it look like a hairline.
Oh, they
To
know
me, I
that
don't do it.
guys have lace fronts too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Glue, lace fronts, all kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah, and it's twofold because one, out of respect for the craft, there are so many
Yeah.
different paths that you can choose. You can be a wig specialist, you can be an extension artist, you can be a blonde specialist, you could be a pixie, a short hair specialist, a long hair specialist. You can choose whatever lane you want to choose. So no shade to whatever lane you choose.
Yeah.
However, the second part of that conversation is, the loss of highlighting natural hair.
Mm.
I think that's the bigger question. Is natural
Mm-hmm.
hair being drowned out by costume hair, right?
Yes.
Case in point, in defense of all the girlies who are old as hell like me, when you get menopause hair, it becomes hair that you don't recognize. And, having a podcast, I do like to change my hair. It is a quick, lazy way to switch up your hair, but I am
Mm-hmm.
cutting all my hair off because I'm a pixie girl and I've been
Okay.
avoiding it, but I am going back to the pixie. I just got to find the right person to do it. So,
There's
yes.
a lady. There's a lady right here by me. When we get off the phone, I'll give you. I'll
Okay.
text you her number. Her name is Angela. She does phenomenal short haircuts.
Really?
Another lady by the name of Tabitha. So I got two people to send you
Oh,
when you
perfect.
when we get off the phone. Yeah,
Oh, I love that. Thank you for that. All righty.
absolutely.
So I that's the crazy part about hair, and that I think is the war. When
Yeah,
it's sometimes it's old school versus new school, sometimes it's
yeah,
client versus stylist, especially on threads. Jesus Christ, they are on
yeah.
our ass on threads. So, Dwayne, nobody gets out of here without my games because I love playing
Okay,
games in real life
let's do it.
and
I'm
on
ready.
my podcast. So, I'm going to do a 60-second blowout, I call it, with you. Are you ready?
Ooh, absolutely. Let's blow it out.
All right, and I'm going to set my timer, even though I always want to
Woo.
know the answers no matter what, so it doesn't matter, but just for fun, let's set
Okay.
the timer. Okay, favorite Bible verse. Do you have one?
All the proverbs.
Love it. Ooh, especially that's about money. Coffee or energy drink?
Energy drink.
First car.
Mitsubishi Mirage.
For favorite movie?
Malcolm X.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Most used app?
IG.
3 people you'd invite to dinner?
Malcolm X. Kobe Bryant. Bruce Lee.
All those things. Best advice you've ever received?
There's nothing wrong with being a copycat. Just copy the right cat.
Ooh. What are you most proud of?
My children.
What do you hope your legacy will be?
My children.
Ooh, I love all of your answers. And look at that. As we end, that was 60 seconds exactly. I love that so much. All right. So when people talk about Dwayne Phelps 30 years from now, what do you hope they say mattered most? Not the fades, not the trophies, not the businesses, but what do you hope people remember about the man?
You can overcome any battle. You can do anything you want to do. Nothing stops you from doing anything except you. So I would hope that people saw, recognized, and understood that I operate out of faith, that I keep trying, that I never give up. Not that I'm perfect, not that I don't still make mistakes, not that I still don't ride motorcycles, but you just try to do better and make better choices. Operate out of faith over fear.
Mic drop. I love that. Okay, so since we're having fun and I have a little time, I'm going to
Okay.
do because I call this what stopped the scroll. When I'm scrolling,
Okay.
I'll save videos, and this one I thought would be fun to react to together because you're a barber and you talked
Okay.
about
Let's do
this.
it.
This is funny.
Premiere of my son's new movie, Michael. I start off by letting a little sunshine in. Let the sun shine in. Oops, no, it's not mine. I promise, guys, that's not mine. Then I wash my face with the waters of Lake Baikal from Siberia. Then I use a lightweight black carbon-rich residue produced by heating wood and other organic materials to hold down this giant afro that I have. Most of you probably refer to it as charcoal. Why don't you? Wait, I don't think you guys are supposed to see this. Uh-oh. Hey, Jafar. Hey, Your Majesty. All right, I'm gonna continue to get ready. Moisturizer is key. This is the reason why anytime I go out, people don't believe that I'm really 71 years old. Because I moisturize. And there it is.
That charcoal,
mm.
rubbing it on the head, that's literally what dudes be looking like, walking around with the spray. I'm sorry. That's just too funny. Oh my gosh.
That's a lot. No, it's okay to age. It's definitely okay to take care of yourself, but do it in the most natural way possible. All that stuff, nobody cares. I remember when I had to shave my head, one of my mentors was like, "Don't nobody care. Just keep being you." And as I took that same mindset into everything. Nobody really cares. You know what I mean? So just do the best you can do. Be confident in who you are. Be the healthiest you can be naturally, and then go from there. You can't worry about all that fake coal, and his hair was atrocious. I don't know who let him walk out of the barbershop looking like that.
No, that's hilarious. No, yeah, and that Jermaine Jackson is the parody he was
Oh,
doing. I don't even understand the construction of it. Like, where do I begin? It's like braided in the back and faded on the
right,
top and smashed on the side. Is it a relaxer? Is
right,
it gel? I have no idea. Definitely sprayed.
for
Craziness.
sure.
All right, Dwayne, where can people find more of you? What are your handles?
Well, so the shop by Lefties, Instagram, and also we have my personal page, which is Lefties AZ. You can email me leftiesaz@gmail.com. The business is located at 4910 East Chandler Boulevard. We're right behind Carl's Jr. And Waffle House. Those are two platforms that everybody knows Waffle House. But yeah, been here for 18 years now, and we're thriving. We're not giving up. We're going to keep serving the Valley. I believe in this business. I believe in barbering, and barbering believes in us.
Yes, perfect. And if you follow the show, thank you so much for subscribing. If you don't, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell on YouTube. If you're listening on podcast, a 5-star review would be amazing. Thank you so much. And as all things, KimAllison.net. That's where you can reach me. All right, you guys, have an amazing day. Bye. Bye, Dwayne.
See you later.